Okay, so I'm back. Yeah, let's start again. So we have the main camera with an audio listener. So we have one audio listener in our scene that can hear audio and return it to the speakers. So now let's work on the audio object. So we need an audio source. So on this game object, component, audio, audio source. Okay, we have a few options that come with the audio source. First, the area where we place the audio clip, which this audio source is going to be playing. Now this can be assigned in the inspector here, or later on I'm going to go through and show how to change this audio clip through script. And then we have a few different booleans here. Mainly you'll be playing with play on awake and loop. And then you have the volume, and pitch is something you can play around with too. Now all this more advanced stuff like the 2D sound settings, if it's going to be panning to the left or the right of our two speakers, the 3D sounds, the drop off levels, and things like that. I mean, you can play around with this and get different curves happening. I mean, quite often you might just want a linear fall off. But for starters, let's just look at the audio clips that I'm going to be using. Now all these sounds came out of the Boot Camp demo, so they're all available to everyone. You download the Boot Camp. And what have I got here? I've loaded them as 3D sounds. Let's just start off with 2D sounds. And make them 2D sounds. We have our audio object. We'll drag in one of our sounds into the audio clip inspector, and it tells us, yep, this is a 2D sound. Alright, so we've set up an audio source. What happens if I hit play? There we go. With the play on awake, as soon as the scene was running, and as soon as this object became awake, it played the audio. Now if we hit the loop, there we go. Must be a little bit of a long silence at the end of that clip, but that will loop through. And if you turn off play on awake, nothing's going to happen. It's not been told to play through the component. And this is where we're going to introduce a script to do this kind of thing. So did I create a script? Yeah, audio example. Okay, so I have an audio example script. Let's start editing that. Okay. So let's do it even on an input. Let's just not do it at start. Let's just keep the scene running and then use a key input so that we can, or a mouse input. So let's just go if input, typos already, get mouse button down, and we'll just use the 0. Let's look at the Unity scripting reference, I guess. So game object audio play. What about component audio? There we go. Because we're talking to the component, the audio source component that is attached to the same game object as the script. There we go. The audio source attached to this game object. Alright. Audio play. There it is right there. So if we press the mouse button, audio dot play. Let's see what happens with that. Save it out. Back to our scene. Make sure everything's all set up. I should save the scene too, I guess. So play on awake is turned off. So nothing should happen, and it's not looped, so it'll only play once when I hit the mouse. So let's see what happens here. So I hit play, nothing's going on. I hit the left mouse button, and there's our 2D sound being played. And there we go. It's as simple as that. So let's set it to loop, and what do I have? Okay, let's put in one of these footstep sounds and hit play. Nothing's happening. It's very quiet, isn't it? I don't know if that's coming up on the video. I didn't need to have to spam the mouse, it's looping by itself. So, okay, that's pretty much audible. I'm sure everyone can hear that through the video. So there's the loop going there. So, we've set it to play with the left mouse button. Let's just copy that out and say if we click the right mouse button. Okay, I should find this in the scripting reference, shouldn't I? Audio. I guess we can look and see what variables. There we go. All the variables available to the audio source. Here we have it. Play, stop, pause, and I will get into a couple of the other ones. Play one shot, play clip. So play and stop. This is what we're playing with. So we've got it set to loop. So let's set it so the left mouse button starts playing the loop, and the right mouse button stops playing the loop. Okay. Nothing's happening. Left mouse button. So that's going off. As soon as I hit the right mouse button, it just cuts off immediately. It didn't even play the rest of the sound. There we are, starting and stopping. Great. Alright, let's look at seeing if we can muck around with this loop variable in script. So back to the audio source of the script reference. Volume, pitch, loop. Audio loop equals. And this is pretty much what I'm just going to demonstrate here. So just in case that we forget to set it to loop, but we do want the audio to loop, let's say audio loop equals true. Save that out. Let that compile, and just to test it, we'll make sure that's false. And now if I hit play, this loop should become enabled. So there we go. So that's to start working, and then we have it looping. And I can start it and stop it with the left and right mouse. Okay, that's great. So that's starting off with the audio component and playing and stopping the audio clip that is assigned to the audio source component. Okay, what if we wanted more than one audio to play from this script? Okay, so I've just removed the audio clip, so there's none in there. I'm going to save that scene even. Now let's work a bit further. So we want to assign audio clips. Okay, audio clip. Well, audio clip is how you typecast an audio variable. So what we're doing is we're creating some variables to store some different sounds, and we need to typecast those variables to something. So let's set that up. So variable sound1, which is of type audio clip. Okay, and let's just set up another one. Sound2. And I'll save that out. Now let's go back to Unity and have a look in the inspector for our audio object. There we have it. See, now we have a couple of variables which we can drag and drop in some audio clips. There we go, just like that. So there's no audio clip assigned in the inspector, but we have some in the script. How do we get the script to set what audio clip is on the audio source? Let's have a look at that. Let's just write a whole new conditional. So I'll leave those play and stop ones for the mouse. What we want to do here is we want to just change that clip. So if input get key down, and let's use the key code alpha. Yeah, alpha 1. So I'm going to use the number 1 and 2 to assign our sound 1 and sound 2. So audio dot clip will equal sound 1. So if I press the number 1 key, the audio clip that's going to be assigned to the audio is going to be sound 1. Let's just copy all that out. Let's make it alpha 2, and we'll set it to sound 2. Alright, let's just do a little test here. I don't know what will happen if we say play when there's no audio clip attached. Pretty sure it'll give an error. So I hit play. No, it's playing nothing, but it doesn't throw an error, so there's no problems there. Okay, so watching the inspector here as I hit the number 1 key. There we go. And if I hit the number 2 key, there we go. So we've assigned our audio variables to the component. You can test that there. Change it to 1. That's all working. Okay, so that's the start of looking at audio and looking at the audio source and how we can assign different audio clips to that audio source and how we can play and stop an audio source.